All right, so we are going to graph f of x equals x cubed minus 16x. And the first thing we're going to do is to find the x-intercept. So we're going to take x cubed minus 16x and set it equal to 0. So I need to factor this. This one's not already factored for us. So I'm going to factor out an x, which leaves me with x squared minus 16. And then I can factor that x squared minus 16 into x plus 4, x minus 4. Okay, so that's going to give me x-intercepts at x equals 0, x equals negative 4, and x equals positive 4. And we always have to be worried about multiplicities with polynomials, but these factors all have an exponent of 1, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have any repeated factors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead over to my graph paper, and I'm going to give myself an x-intercept at 0 and at negative 4 and at positive 4. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so the next thing we want is to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to find f of 0. And we're just plugging in 0 for x, and I get a whole lot of 0. And then when I go over to plot the the y-intercept, I find that I've already plotted it there as an x-intercept, so that was not very exciting. All right, so the next thing I need is the end behavior. All right, so end behavior, I need to know the degree. So the degree is the highest exponent, and I have my highest exponent right there, x cubed. So my degree is equal to 3. And I need to know if what my leading coefficient is. And my leading coefficient is just this understood 1 hanging out before the highest power of x. So my leading coefficient is 1. And most importantly, that means odd degree, positive leading coefficient. So I know that my end behavior is going to be the same as that regular x cubed graph or as that regular line with a positive slope. It's going to start low on the left, and it's going to end high. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself some arrows. I know that somewhere over the left-hand side, before it gets to its x-intercepts, it's going to be aiming down here somewhere. And then it's going to end, after it's all done with all those x-intercepts, it's going to end up high. And I'm not going to actually use those pink arrows. They're just there for me whenever I'm ready to graph. All right. Okay, so I've got my x-intercept, my y-intercept, and I've got my end behavior. The last thing I need is to figure out some extra points. So I'm just going to plot a few points. And I just want to plot some things that are not x-intercepts. So I might find f of negative 3, f of negative 2, f of negative 1, f of 1, f of 2, f of 3. You certainly do not need to plot this many points. You just have to have a couple. I usually only make you plot 2 or 3 on an exam. I'll tell you how many I want. All right, and you're just going up to the function and finding good old-fashioned f values. All right, so that gives me negative 27. This is going to be plus 16 times 3 is going to be 48. And let's see, 48 minus 27 is 21. All right, so we can go through and find all of these function values just by plugging in. When you find negative 2 cubed minus 16 times negative 2, that's going to give you negative 8. And that's going to give me plus 32. And 32 minus 8 is 24. All right, so you can do these. These are just arithmetic, plugging in numbers. F of negative 1, you will get 15. When you find f of 1, you should get negative 15. F of 2 should give you negative 24. And f of 3 should give you negative 21. This function has some kind of symmetry to it. So we get repeated values there. All right, so I'm just going to plot, and like I said, you don't have to have all of these points, but okay, so 21, negative 3 comma 21, going to give myself a point there. At negative 2, 24, that's about where I maxed out. F of negative 1, I got 15. F of 1, I got negative 15. F of 2, negative 24. And f of 3, negative 21. And notice before I started, I kind of changed my y-axis. I counted by 5s on the y-axis. And you can count by whatever you want to on your y-axis. So it kind of pays to wait until this step where you're plotting points to figure out what your tick marks are going to be on your y-axis, so you don't have to make 25 tick marks all the way up. All right, and then we're just going to start down low and then fill in that polynomial shape. All right, and I'm going to kind of start here in the middle. And we'll keep going. We know this is going to end down. And then I'll make kind of the same shape on the right-hand side. Plastic stylus on the iPad's a little bit hard to do there. All right, so then I'm just going to kind of clean up here. I can get rid of these pink arrows that aren't really part of my graph. All right. And that is our graph.